Okay, AP Calculus AB. This is a little extra credit fun assignment, tessellations, and maybe even some prizes for the best tessellations in different ways, voted maybe by your peers. So tessellations are these designs of sort of like interlocking patterns. And so sometimes it can be pretty simple. But the idea is that these shapes that interlock with each other, these are a couple more elaborate ones. And some of the most famous ones are by artist M.C. Escher, who also, is known for some of his other optical illusions. He draw these pictures where it looks like a waterfall is like flowing up and stairs are sideways and upside down, all kinds of different cool pictures. So this one has some fish and birds. And so like even, sort of like the face of the fish forms the wings of the bird, and the fin of the fish makes the neck of the bird, and it all kind of interlocks nicely without really any dead space in between. Here's kind of a crazy one with a guy on a horse. And so the guy's face makes the neck of the horse, and his neck makes the leg of the horse, and his arms, make the leg of the horse, and it's kind of interlocking. And here's one was kind of looks like a horse's head, and it's demonstrating one of the techniques I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you a couple techniques that you can use, and you can look up some other ones. And so here's a couple ways to make the interlocking pattern work. And the details you can kind of fill in later. So one of them is to use a triangle, and two is a triangle or quadrilateral, and find the midpoints of the sides. So midpoints of the sides be exactly the halfway points. And so then what you can do is then for each side, create a pattern that's a reflection. It kind of looks like a odd function, where one half you flip it and you flip it again, you get the other half. So this would be exactly the same as this. So on one half, you get the other half. And then you do that on every side to form whatever kind of shape you hope to make. And if you do this, and then this will interlock with its other shapes. And you can do that with quadrilaterals also. So this one over here shows you that approach: midpoint, 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 and that's the same as this, and this is the same as this, and you form this kind of horse heads, and then you can add the details later on of what's in between, just to make it look cool. So that's one approach. Okay, so you sort of have like an out part and an in part. That's the same. This next one I think is maybe a little simpler, a little easier. So you want to draw a quadrilateral or any polygon with an even number of sides. So this could work with larger ones. Now, I don't know if it needs to be, I think it needs to be regular, like any regular polygon, which means all regular, can't spell. All the sides are equal, and all the angles are equal, except for a rectangle. Rectangle still works. So rectangle doesn't have all equal sides. But for other polygons, if you want to do more sides than 4, they need to be regular polygons. So anyways, for this method, you draw a design on one side from corner to corner, whatever you want it to be, and then you draw the same one on the bottom but inside. So one goes out and one goes in, and then you do a pair of patterns on the other opposite side. So this has to be sides that are across from each other. Okay, it has to have an even number of sides, by the way, too. So you can't do this with triangles or pentagons. So it's got to be, quadrilateral, hexagon, octagon. So when you do that, see this, if you do the shape again, this one would fit perfectly into this, and this one would fit perfectly into the bottom of the next one, and then you create this grid of all the same shapes. What I would do is once you settle on your what you know, just sketch it out first, play around with it, and then once you decide what you're going to do, make a really nice final version on some kind of thick, uh, you know, uh, paper, cardboard, like a manila folder or something like that, and make a template. So then you can just trace it out every time, so you don't have to like try and redraw it perfectly. You get one really good drawing, and then you kind of trace it out and repeat it. You could also do this digitally. You could use all kinds of different mediums. I've had people do it. Just draw it on paper, pencil, ink, crayons, colored in with markers, chalk, colored pencils, all kinds of different things. So, I mean, you could do however you want. You could paint it. You could make it out of, I've had people make them out of wood, uh, or even use 3D printers. Like I said, you could do it digitally. You could look at other ways of making tessellations, other ways of creating the patterns, um, and then kind of make it colorful. You can, a lot of times people like to do animals. You can do all kinds of different things, whatever or fun. If you're in class, I'll try and show you guys some examples from recent years of students' artwork. But something kind of fun to do. You don't have to. It's extra credit if you do it. Also, I was planning on kind of making it a little competitive or whatever the first place, second place, third place. Anyways, just something to try. I'll give you guys several weeks to work on this. Probably have it due after Thanksgiving break. So that's it.